Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to take a few minutes of your time and do a review for Final Fantasy 16, the demo. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now I want to give you my honest opinion about this game. There's some things that I really love about it. There's some things that hopefully, because this is a demo and it's not exactly the finished product, hopefully some of these things will be worked out in in the final build. So as you can see like a little bit of green over here on the edges with blue, and as the sound increases, like you could turn this off if you want to, but I found it to be really cool actually, how it is essentially showing you the sound at the same time. That's pretty cool, man. I like that touch. Now I want to switch over and I want to talk about visuals, and the clarity in the visuals in this game is incredible. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you, but I mean, there's this game isn't a heavy cutscene, because it is. There is a lot of cutscenes in this 2-hour demo. I was like, wow, but it's so immersive. The tone of this game is a lot more mature, a lot more aimed at, and I would say my age group for when it comes to actually being like something that like people like me would like to play. As you can see, like the intricate detail in this Titan, man, is just, it blew me away. When you get over here to like the castle area, man, the detail in this game is freaking awesome. This is what I've wanted to see in a AAA medieval type experience, and man, it's kind of insane that I'm getting that from Final Fantasy. Like, I never in a million years thought that I would be playing something like this from Final Fantasy. Now, when we got to like the PS3, Xbox 360 generation, I kind of quit playing Final Fantasy. I didn't play any of the Final Fantasies through that generation. I have since bought the bought the the Final Fantasy 13 on the Xbox backwards compatibility, and I played a little bit of those, but I'm liking the new combat going forward with Final Fantasy. I like that action combat, that action JRPG. It's so much better for me. I like this. I like the constant back and forth, and being able to pull off these moves and dodge and run around and have this type of a combat system for Final Fantasy. Like, this was cool. Getting in here and experiencing this, even though like in this demo, pretty much all the move set and everything is pretty basic, pretty you know, like not really big combos or anything, but you'll see, like, as we get farther into this video and into this like review, you'll start to see how the quality of the combat starts to get better as I continue to link things together. Now, this here was my first and only playthrough through this. I actually recorded the whole thing, 2 hours of gameplay. It was about 2 hours long to get through this whole demo. I would say a little more than 70% of that. Well, yeah, I would say almost 70% of that is cutscenes, or kind of like there was a couple parts that kind of feel like they're on rails and you're just, you know, moving and shooting and stuff. So I would say about 70% of that feels pretty much like that. There wasn't really a whole lot of exploration in the in this demo. Most of the gameplay is through corridor sections. Like, you'll go through like this little swamp thing. There was a couple boss fights in there. There was the some of the other things, but for the most part, I love the tone of this game. Now, the fact that it is really story heavy is going to probably turn some people off. For the most part, I've been kind of like, you know, wanting just that heavy, you know, like gameplay. And gosh, man, for some reason this one here just sucked me in, and I'm like, wow, this is incredible. I like this. I'm sitting here and I'm playing it and I'm feeling super immersed in this experience. And I'm like, gosh dang, man, the story beats. I think that's what it is. Like the story beats, the way they keep hitting, the way the characters sound, the way the characters react to things, the way um, and it's not all over the top, like giggly or anything like that. So that leads to the more mature, gritty theme of this game. And you'll see some stuff in this game, like some really emotional stuff just in this demo that will make you think like, wow, man, they're really trying to go for it. And I commend Square Enix for doing that. Even for Spoken earlier this year, they went with a more gritty approach to, just being more mature about the game and the setting for Spoken. And I was like, gosh, man, I really like this new Square Enix. I'm really digging this. I really appreciate the high quality visuals that they've brought to this experience. I'm just like, wow. Now I will be playing this whole game through when it launches. Here, gosh, dude, it's like 11 days, man. I'm so excited to jump into this. And there were, I mean, like, not everything is butterflies and rainbows and puppy dogs. There's some performance issues going on with this demo, and like I can feel them and I can see them. And I'm really hoping that the final build of this game will be able to get us to that 60 frames per second and keep it locked. There's a lot of sections that are, pretty decent, but I mean, as you can see, the camera jerking as I move it and stuff, you can see, right? I mean, like right now that like the frame rate just doesn't, it's not super stable. But I mean, this experience was playable. Like, it was playable. I was able to get through it. The the performance never dropped to a point where it was like unplayable or anything, but it's the thing that you can notice. Like, you want it to be a more polished experience, especially if you're going to pay $70 for this. And I do have faith in Square Enix, man. I've been a Square Enix fan. I mean, since like the original Nintendo, well, like Super Nintendo, probably Super Nintendo. I don't know if I don't think I played anything on regular Nintendo, but Super Nintendo forward, I've been playing Square Enix games for a very long time. I was really big into them, the PlayStation 1 and 2 generation. PlayStation 3, I kind of moved away from all JRPGs and just kind of, got into the like the Assassin's Creed and all of that stuff, kind of just took over. And I was like, oh yeah, I like these kind of games. And I kind of just sidelined a lot of other stuff that I used to really love and enjoy. And toward the end of last generation, the Xbox One generation and beginning of this generation, I've started to play and experience a lot more JRPGs. I think the first JRPG I played last generation on the Xbox One X was gosh, what was it? Nier Automata. I went through that and I was like, whoa, I love this. So then I started buying more and I started playing more. And this generation, I've played a lot, like Tales of Arise. I've played some Scarlet Nexus. I've played Nier Replicant. Just a lot more. The Yakuza games. I've been adding a lot more of those to my gaming, to my overall gaming experience now, and trying to get back into these games. I got the Final Fantasy 1 through 6 remasters, and I'm trying to get back into that experience and really start to sorry, I forgot I need to turn that down, and start to really play those experiences again. And man, I find a lot of it, to be quite challenging. This game right here, Final Fantasy 16, while it is challenging, it is also manageable to the point where being able to get in here and experience this and have some fun with this game, and it feel more like playing like a Devil May Cry, but with a heavy focus on like a Final Fantasy experience with the over the top freaking big giant battles and the design choices that they've made for this game, simply incredible. Like, I love this. I feel like this is going to be one of the better Final Fantasies ever built, and I'm really looking forward to finishing this experience here in the next few days. Like, this is incredible, man. I'm curious to see how the character customization and all of that starts to play out as you continue to progress in this story with this type of a combat. Now, Final Fantasy 15, like I did beat that. I have it on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, and the contrast, like it just feels like it's completely different than that. Like that game was funny, it was flamboyant, it was just kind of over the top with the nonsense and the giggling and the and the angsty teen boy type deal. And this right here, like you start out as Clive and he's younger, he's like 15 or something in this, and he's like he's like more like, yeah, I don't know, he's not immature, he's not annoying, and that's incredible. Like I love that. I love the fact that this game does not feel super giggly and super childish. I like that. I like the fact that it feels more gritty and it's more just down to action. It like it's great. Like the story content in here has been really good. Getting through some of this, fighting some of these, these tougher enemies and stuff, and like starting to get down the timing and stuff. Like as I'm playing this game, wow, I I like this game a lot. Like I'm a pretty big Devil May Cry fan. I like Devil May Cry. I like the combat in there. I like to upgrade the skills and get into that. And this game right here, like I can already tell you the way this feels. It's smooth. The controls are responsive. The combat feels it feels good to me. Like I feel like this is a good, solid experience. That's like it's already grown on me. Like I'm already so happy with this game. I'm already so what's the word for it? I'm already so immersed in this experience, and I've only played it for 2 hours. For 2 hours, I played through the 2-hour demo, and the immersion that I sat here. I just came home from work yesterday, and I had to wait till today to do this, because I just sat here and I was doing some other stuff. But I sat here and I turned it on. And I just started playing it, and then I got to a point where like I was like, "Oh man, this game is this game is so cool." Like it does not stop for 1 second. Like not 1 second playing this game did I feel bored or did I feel like, "Oh man, like I don't want to do that." Like the cutscenes are really good. The characters, the character conversation and stuff, like it's so good. Like it just goes from one beat to another, and you're just like, wow, man, that's cool. Like for a game to be able to hold your interest as well as Final Fantasy does, and it's starting 2 hours. Like most of the time, like like I can usually tell within like 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes if I'm gonna like a game or not. And I'm playing through this and I'm just like, oh man, like the visuals sucked you right in. That's cool. Like the visuals sucked me right in, and I was like, wow, this looks good. This looks very good. And then the story content, like the cutscenes and stuff, I was like, wow, man, this is pretty good. Like I like the way these guys are, talking to each other. I like the overall writing so far. And so then I get into like the combat, and I start experiencing the combat, and I'm like, wow, this feels pretty cool. Like I'm definitely going to be able to play this. This feels good. This feels like something that I want to play, that I want to invest time in and get good at. And then you start getting into like this right here, fighting this Marlboro, man. Like I was like, whoa, man, this thing's huge. I was like, man, am I going to be able to do this? Like it feels like a slash sponge, you know what I mean? But by the time you get into this and you start experiencing this, I don't really care for the QTEs that much, but for the most part, like right here, you'll see this QTE, but like, look at all that water particle, man. That's like so freaking cool. Like this looks incredible on a 4K screen, on my 1440p monitor, everywhere, man. This game just looks incredible. It feels great to play. It's really like it is absolutely gonna be a banger this year. A $70 AAA banger. So now I'm just gonna react to the rest of this video as we sit here and talk. Like I'm 100% sold on this. Like I'm definitely playing this day one, no questions asked. But I want to sit here and I want to kind of just react to, like the combat and stuff. Like right now, right now, Clive is essentially, like everything is pretty basic. Like all the move set, everything is pretty basic. As you can see, I'm sitting here, I'm dodging away, trying to get behind him, trying to attack him from behind and stuff, letting my meter charge up and stuff. Just trying to get it like a really good feel, because this is like the first boss that was like, oh my gosh, man, maybe this one here is going to be a little bit tough. So I'm sitting here, I'm playing it, I'm trying to watch the move set, I'm trying to learn, what the creature's gonna do, how the battle's gonna turn out and stuff. And I was like, wow, man, like they put a lot of thought into this experience. They did. They put a lot of thought into this experience, and they made it to a point where like the combat, once I'm feeling like once you start to upgrade your character, once you start to learn new move sets, once you start to gain more powers, once you start to, really get into this game, and I'm hoping that it has a really deep combat system that you can like Devil May Cry, stuff like that. I'm really hoping that this thing just gets like over the top, like crazy, like Forspoken. I love Forspoken, man. Chaining some of those moves together and stuff is so cool. And it's easy to love this game because it's beautiful. First and foremost, like it's easy to love this game because it's absolutely freaking beautiful. The way the creatures look, they're super detailed. The way the characters look, super detailed. The environments, like this environment here, not like the greatest or anything, but I did leave this whole battle in there, like the whole thing, so that like we could talk through it, so we could see this and stuff. Man, this was cool, man. I like this freaking game. I'm super excited about this. I think that Final Fantasy has finally nailed it to a point where if they continue to build the Final Fantasy like this, I'm hoping that it will attract more players, because we need to talk about like the turn-based versus the full-on action of this, the action combat. And to me, man, I like this so much more, because I don't like to stop and like think about things. I used to be okay with that, like taking my time and like doing things and like planning things out, and I used to get really into like the turn-based combat. But then I started playing a lot of action focused games and a lot of action, focused heavy games, and it just started to change the way I was experiencing games. And now, like, going back to that, for some reason I'm having such a hard time going back to like turn-based combat. Like I think I got like 20 hours into the Yakuza 7, man, and that's the only game like turn-based that I've been able to play that long, and that was just because that game's freaking awesome. But this new combat in Final Fantasy 16 paired with these visuals is second to freaking none. Like this feels incredible. Now this here is essentially like the last boss fight that you're going to get into in this demo, and this one was freaking pretty cool, man. Like this was cool. I liked this combat in here, man. Like being able to like dodge fast to them, get right up in their face, um, being able to like dodge and like do like perfect damage and perfect strikes and stuff. Now I did go back actually, and I did play the training section again, and I was like really focusing more on like dodging and parrying and stuff like that. And I found that as I practiced and as I got better doing that, it felt even more fluid than it did like me just like struggling during this fight. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, what's this guy gonna do? You know what I mean? Like trying to figure out what he's gonna do, trying to figure out like the move set and stuff. I like that, man. I like feeling like I like being on my toes to a certain extent when I'm playing a game, but like I like the way this feels better than like a Souls game, just because like you still have to be like on your toes and like learn move sets and be able to dodge and be able to parry and be able to attack and stuff like that. But at the same time, like this isn't so punishing that like I couldn't figure it out. Like I was able to figure out this dude's move set pretty quickly and still win without having to start over. I believe I don't think I lost to this guy. I don't think I lost to him. I think I was able to beat him and being able to get through this and have that and have fun with that. That was pretty cool, man. Like it was cool to the point where like I could figure it out and not really have to. Oh, dude, I had like 3 regular potions too. Dude, I just noticed that. I could have used those regular potions to to heal myself even more. But it was cool feeling like I was on the edge, to be completely honest with you. It was cool feeling like I was like I was getting ready to like mess up, or I don't really know if I care for those. For the QTEs, man. I don't really necessarily like that in games. And like being in here, like this backdrop and everything, and fighting this dude, so cool. So cool, man. I do. I give Square Enix props for being able to create a Final Fantasy experience like this that is truly immersive. Like from start to finish of this demo, not one time, like I said, not one time did I feel like I was bored or like I didn't want to play it. I was always curious and like, whoa, dude, I want to see what's behind the next door. I want to see what's behind the next corner. And I was like, wow, this is literally incredible. So immersed that I was like sad when it ended. I was like, man, are you serious? That's it? That's all we get? 2 hours? I want more. I want just a little bit more. And oh, and this castle, like it's kind of explorable. Like you'll go through there, you'll fight as Clive's little brother. You'll go through here and you'll do some of the combat with him. This game is so cool. I cannot wait for this thing to launch. I can't wait for you to play it. I hope that you play it and experience the demo. I hope if you're an old time Final Fantasy fan that you give this a chance and you and like you, I don't know, man, go into it with an open mind, because I know that a lot of Final Fantasy guys really like the turn-based more. I know 15 didn't really do it for a lot of people. Like I get that, man, but I liked 15. I like Final Fantasy 7 remake. Those are like, these are. I'm so glad that I decided to come back to Final Fantasy at this point, like when they were starting to move towards more towards the action combat. I like that a lot. I really did kind of like the split, action combat and using powers and stuff in Final Fantasy 7. I still kind of thought that was pretty cool. But I think I like this more than 15 and Final Fantasy 7 remake. I kind of feel like I like this combat more than I like the other two. I like to be in control of the overall combat section. Now, this is the last part of the review. This is the part that I kind of didn't care for, but it was pretty cool. This is the part that just kind of felt like it was on rails. And if every single one of these fights are going to feel like they're on rails, I don't necessarily think that's going to be that cool. Like, I don't know. I mean, like the destruction in here, flying around, that was pretty cool, but I didn't feel like I had enough control over what was going on to really make a difference in this experience. So this part right here kind of put me kind of was like, oh, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know how I feel about this type of gameplay. I mean, it looks cool. The scale of everything looks pretty cool, but I just didn't feel like I had enough overall control to where it made it feel like it was immersive enough. Like, I mean, it was fine. I got it done, but like this is like the only part in the game where if I would have failed, I did fail once, and I was like, man, do I even want to try to do that again? Like, I didn't. This part of the game is probably like the weakest point for me. Is this part of the combat type stuff. Like, that was probably the weakest part for me. So if you guys like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.